Hello, welcome to God's Unchained headquarters. Today we're going to be going over the balance update that is announced to possibly be implemented on February 23rd, 2022. This update involves a large number of nerfs and buffs across the Divine Order and core sets. In addition to the following cards that we'll be covering, they changed card text styles. Now everything with order says, quote, when this creature's order reaches 0, instead of the original, quote, when this creature loses order. So the first card is Sage of Renewal. They will be increasing her stats to being 6/6. In addition, they're going to be changing her effects entirely. Now she will have a War, refresh 4 mana, and delve 4 mana worth of nature spells. This is going to give her a lot more playability in the nature decks, especially late game, where you can replenish your hand, and essentially she'll only cost you 3 mana for the turn. Scholar of Power is also getting a change. They're increasing their stats to 6/6, and the War ability will change to say reduce the cost of a spell in your hand by X, where X is your current spell boost. With it already having a spell boost of +2, it will already reduce something in your hand by at least 2. And considering that it'll be focused inside spell boosting decks, it should prove quite interesting for the Magic Domain. Professor of Murder is also getting an upgrade. They're going to be changing the mana cost to 7, so it will cost more, but it'll also have its stats changed to being 6/6, making it much more reliable. Hidden is going to stay, and also when you summon a creature, you give it hidden for 1 turn. The War ability will change. It'll now summon 2 1/1 rogue skulkers with deadly and give them hidden. This will make it much more favorable to the card art where it shows 2 students watching the teacher teach. Nice touch. Stormfield is going to be changed so that now it's only going to cost 2 mana, but it also won't deal damage to creatures anymore. It'll simply give a spell boost +1 to each of your creatures. Mentor of Salvation is also getting a face change. It will now be a 6/6 with Ward, and it will now give all your other creatures, quote, afterlife, pull this card to your hand. And it live up to its name of being a Mentor of Salvation. Thebian Elephant is also changing to now be a 6/8 with Overkill instead of backline, and after this creature attacks an enemy creature, it gains +2 strength. This is going to make it much more of a push instead of a sit back and build type of effect. Unproven Incantation is changing as well. Now will deal 4 damage to a creature, and if it survives, deal 3 damage to the enemy god. Those were just the card text changes, not necessarily for the better or for the worse, according to the card designers. But the following cards are all considered buffs, so let's take a quick look. Overseer of Vitality is going to increase its stats to 6/6. If you haven't noticed a theme, they are increasing essentially all Divine Order 7 costing creatures to being 6/6. Chieftain of Impulse is now going to give your creatures God Blitz instead of just regular Blitz. Lips Are Sealed will now give Order +4 to each creature, and it will give it to creatures of Strength 3 or more. This is following the philosophy that more order isn't necessarily better. Because with Order +5, the order would expire at the end of the caster's turn, meaning that you wouldn't normally be able to attack that creature on the last turn of the order. However, some favor the more order count because of other card effects that benefit from order being on the field. It also gives order to creatures with front line, so it gives you one more turn of being able to attack the opponent directly. We'll see how this philosophy holds, and whether or not this is a true buff. Skeletal Hoplite, his health is being increased to 2, and Tassarin Minotaur, they are simply reducing the mana cost down to 4 instead of 5. Dead Century is going to have its strength increased by 1, so now it's going to be a 4/4. And the Echoing Fury is now going to give +1 strength and Twin Strike instead of just the normal Twin Strike. City Planner is having an interesting change. They're decreasing the mana cost down to 7 instead of 8, making it more playable late game. They're also going to reduce its stats to 7/7, and they're making him a guild instead of just a generic. Helm Hustler, they are now going to give his ability War. so that way it's both war and ability. He'll still steal an enemy's creature's armor, add it to his own, and then deal his armor to that enemy creature. With him having war and ability makes him much more reliable, because now he'll instantly be able to protect himself, instantly take armor from another creature, and instantly deal damage, all for 3 mana. Philia, Carnival Ringleader, actually isn't getting any change in of herself, but simply a text change. As mentioned earlier in this video, anything with order now says when this creature's order reaches 0. What's interesting though is her transform ability, and she transforms into Shimmer Scales. Shimmer Scales form is getting a change. It will now be backline hidden. This is a huge improvement from the original backline flank, given that hidden is one of the most powerful self-protect game mechanics currently available. Lastly, Ring of the Siren is having its durability increased to 4. Let's talk about nerfs. Bronze Moose is actually having its strength changed to 5, getting more in line to other creatures that already cost 5. All-Seeing Spire is having its order cut down to 5. Bookish Elite is having its health reduced from 6 to 5. This core card has seen huge play since the last buff. Reducing it to 5 should make her Twin Strike a little less reliable. Hollow's also getting some change. This legendary creature is going to have its health changed to 3. It's still going to keep the backline and ward, but for now on, it's only going to be able to give a friendly creature +2 order, as opposed to the original getting to pick and choose +2, +3, or +4. Radiant Dawn is going to be changing, so now it only gives creatures +1/+1 and lose sleep instead of the original +1/+2. Reducing the amount of HP it gives to light creatures makes light much more vulnerable to war and nature decks. Monolith of Storms is having its initial strength reduced to 4. It has first strike a little less powerful, also reducing the order to 5 instead of the original 10, making it acceptable to attacks much earlier in the game. Last but not least, Falling Star. They are now going to change it so that it only gives the Badgers +1 strength. Originally, it would give +1 strength to all your creatures, but given its playability already with the burn +6 and summoning 3 creatures, they decided just to give the strength to the Badgers. There is an opportunity right now to play test these changes in the public test realm, but they're only giving 24 hours to do so. So that means it will be open until Tuesday, February 22nd at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So get in there while you can. That's it for this balance update. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see the cards, make sure to watch the YouTube channel where we show the cards in their current state along with the new text. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review wherever you are. And we look forward to seeing you in the next update.